Okay, welcome guys to the Timo Tuesday movie review. Okay, we have got tickets for Creed 3. This is actually the sequel of Creed 2. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to let you know, guys. You see, like, I have never seen any of the Creed movies. I have seen the first Rocky movie since last week, and believe it or not, yes, I'm pretty much that far behind. After watching this movie, that I feel like it paid like an homage technically to the first movie, especially that's what people love about it. Okay, would you agree?
Yeah, it's a shame Stallone was not in this one though. But
honestly, what do you think of the movie?
Yeah, it was really good, really good directorial debut.
And yes, that is correct. You see, for those who don't know, Creed 3 is actually directed by Michael B. Jordan. He's also in the movie as well. He was also in Black Panther, right? He was Killmonger, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm correct, right? If you love basically Killmonger, basically you're gonna love Creed 3, right? So basically this takes place technically after the second movie, right?
Yes.
I've never seen Creed 2 or Creed 1, so basically, how did this is a sequel after Creed 2?
Like, chronologically, like he's retired at the start of this movie. He was fighting in the first two.
Okay, and what was that opening scene? Remember that opening scene in the fight that was?
Yeah.
Was that technically the ending scene of Creed 2?
No, it's another fight. He's refighting one of his previous opponents.
Okay, yes. Okay, we gotta appreciate this. Okay, what do you think about the mansion that Creed was in?
It was really nice.
It's very nice to see it like it's almost technically one of those TikTok houses that you would have seen. That especially that there's technically like a see-through wall. There's technically an upper balcony, patio, or even a fire, especially in the scene, and also the pool, very luxurious. And also there's a bar and a pool, like technically most celebrities' houses do. And also like Creed is married with his wife, and he has a daughter. For some reason, is deaf.
Yeah, because of the mom's hearing loss, she has a disorder.
Yeah, so genetically impaired, basically.
That's the reason.
That's the reason why. Because of that, now the daughter is basically deaf, basically just sign language. And I have to admit that I am really impressed that if Michael B. Jordan did not know how to do sign language, basically, I guess like this movie, I guess he taught himself.
For those scenes, yeah.
Yeah, you know that pretty basically, as you know, that it's very hard to learn a language, especially any foreign language. But especially if you're doing sign language, you know it's really that hard. It's not that easy, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he learned it. He just, knew what was required for those scenes.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't know. You see that I never took a sign language class. Have you?
No.
So basically, I don't know technically if they were doing it right. So basically, for all those deaf people, or basically who's sign language experts, please comment below basically if they're doing it right, because we do not know.
If they were not doing it right, that'd be really offensive. So I would only assume they were doing it right.
Yeah. So
it's kind of safe to assume that.
Yeah. So please leave in the comments below to see if they're doing it right. Okay. Please, there's a lot of flashbacks going on throughout this movie, from every scene to scene, you know. Okay. What ties about this is that Creed mentioned about the underdog versus Apollo. Okay, when I heard that, I was so cringe. That was a big reference to the first Rocky. Yeah, and I was so stunned. Okay, I was, oh my God, I heard people were clapping. That basically there's a huge reference to that scene between Damien and Creed training. And I have to admit, basically, if you're trying to train for a competitive sport, especially boxing, it is no easy task, because you know that it's basically like the same similar fight between when Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman was trained to fight Superman. Now, you kind of agree with that, basically. That was more like kind of like an homage to it, right?
Training montage.
Yes.
Yeah, this movie had a training montage.
Like, I have to admit, basically, if I was technically like a couch potato and I came back to training, doing these kind of training, I would technically die. Especially that final scene of that training, where Creed basically was pulling on was it an airplane?
Yeah, a small airplane.
A small airplane on his back. Basically, he has something tied on his back, and he was on his knees and he was trying to pull that out. And you know that basically it takes like two people in order to do that. But no, this is like real. So basically, you know how hard that shit is. And flash forward basically between the fight between Creed and finally Damien. Okay, it seems like in the beginning that Creed and Damien were technically even. Okay. But then throughout the whole time, basically, there were flashbacks, again, where Creed is seeing Damien as basically how he was when they were kids. We're kids, and this is very emotional. Like, would you kind of agree with that? You see that if you're basically fighting against someone whom you've known since childhood, who was there for you, who saved you, and you're fighting again, you would technically be tearing up, right?
No, I would not be tearing up.
Okay, and then after that, in the end, watch the movie to find out. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So we're to wrap this up. So final thoughts of the movie.
Okay, I thought it was a nice movie about confronting your past, moving on with it in a healthy way. Bianca, Creed's wife, she was a musical artist. She noticed that she had hearing loss, and she understood she had to reduce her role in the music industry, started being a producer. Creed, having to retire from boxing, the sport that he loves, but still kind of being unable to talk to his wife about his past in the foster home, and Leon, and Damien, who spent 18 years in prison. He had a life taken away from him, but he the entire time he was so upset about that life being taken away from him that he used his anger to focus on wanting to be the heavyweight champion of the world, even if it meant doing immoral actions like fighting dirty.
Yeah, pretty much everything what you said so far is technically on point, because you see, Creed technically did not open up until after his mother's death, and because that, and I know that he's trying to forget, but it turns out basically during that scene that you actually understand technically why Bianca technically had to what did Bianca felt when she left. It takes time to get used to, but deep down every day it's gonna be painful giving up to something you love. So basically, technically, the message is basically that it is best to it may be painful to let go of something that you love, but however, you have to do something basically to accommodate what it is, and that's technically what both Creed and Bianca technically, as their characters, understand about each other. And also, that's the other thing, that you have something deep inside you. It's best not to keep it inside you, because that by talking about it, you're able to let it out and basically have the other person, especially your spouse or your companion for life, to understand what you're going through. Because that as the day goes on, it might get even harder. And it explains technically about this whole movie, basically that Bianca understands that Creed, there are things that Creed does not want to talk about. However, when it gets to the point that basically he cannot hide it anymore, and that is when Creed kind of understands it's best to open up, and that's technically what it is. Okay, if there's a funny scene I have to say about this movie, let's talk about the deaf daughter. Okay, the daughter was technically drawing a picture that suddenly a bully came up to her, grabbed her drawing, ripped it in front of her. So instead of technically how typical children will technically cry or whine about the teacher, what she does this, and smack the bully. I did not expect that, but I have to say, basically, taking from Creed's side, basically, I understand technically why he has to teach his daughter about that. Because Creed did grew up in technically in a deserted area, especially with all gang members all around, especially Danger around side. I guess he took that experience. Basically, he doesn't want to have his daughter experience the way how he did through. So basically, kudos for that. For all you non-Creed viewers out there, I say I totally recommend this movie. So what would you say?
I also recommend the movie.
Okay, final verdict?
8 out of 10.
Okay, because I have not seen the previous Creed movies, I'm gonna give this a 9. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I cannot give this a 10 out of 10 because there's some parts that basically that are totally unnecessary. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for joining onto the T-Mobile Tuesday movie reel. But overall, I had a lot of fun. You had a lot of fun?
I did.
Oh yes, and I will catch you guys in the next one.